Hey guys, we are going to talk about the lab report rubric in this video. So this is on Google Classroom at the very top. I'm going to start out looking at this formatting for lab reports. This is a good document to read through to get the general idea of what is in the whole lab report, what format you need to put it in, how many sources you need, things like that. And again, we'll go over all this in class, but I do want to give this, this video just for your reference. All right, so I'm going to actually switch over to the rubric for each additional part, but this is a good read through to just get general ideas and stuff, okay? So this is the actual rubric. This one is a little small, I know. There is another one that I've posted where it's actually due, and I've posted an example here as well. This is a really good example. I think this paper got like 100. I got a perfect score when I graded it, but it is not about this particular lab material. This is just showing you setup and generally what I expect. But the rubric that I have posted for the lab report on Google Classroom is a Google rubric, just like the one I did for the notebook, and it's worth 110 points. So I will actually take it out of 110, so you can get up to 110 on this summative assessment. And this is for summative grade. So make sure you work really hard on this. This can help bring up your grade a good bit. So the first one that you can't see is the formatting and appearance. And the formatting and appearance is for 10 points of the 110. And it's just basically, it's all in correct order. I can read it. Not a lot of things are spelled wrong. It just looks nice, and it's readable. Now, technical writing, this is actually where the grammar and organization of your writing, the sentences are structured correctly, they flow, they make sense. That's where all this is going to come in. So this is where your grammatical errors and your spelling errors are. And again, that's for 10 points. So those are really 20 easy points right there. Just, use your writing skills. And I can help you with any of that if you need it. This is where we bring into the third person past tense and no personal pronouns. So instead of saying like I weighed the scale or I weighed the sample, it's the sample was weighed. We don't use personal pronouns. We don't say we don't say I, we don't say you, and it's all in third person past tense. So third person pronouns third person past tense is really important. And if you use personal pronouns, I will count off here, okay? And I've got it detailed. Next is the introduction, and it is worth 20 points. This is where you talk about all the stuff that we've learned in class. This is where you talk about why measurement's important to real life, why scientists use it. I like to bring in some of my pre-lab questions for this stuff. That's a really good place to start. So for this this paper or for this lab, we use the pre-lab questions like why and how do scientists manipulate and use data. It's a really good thing to talk about in the introduction. I want you to tell me what accuracy and precision are, why they're important, things like that, things that we talked about in class as it relates to the lab. This is what goes in the introduction in theory. Like I will go through and have a list of words that I expect to see that are from like vocab words from the unit. So make sure you use some of those, especially the big tickets as they relate to the lab. Next, worth 10 points, is the experimental. This is where you talk about what you did. It can be like a bullet point list as long as it's complete sentences. It's just, details of what you did exactly so that somebody else could repeat your experiment. This can be copied right out of your lab notebook. It's completely fine. As long as it's in third person past tense, no personal pronouns, and complete sentences. All right, next is the results. This is just your data table with clearly labeled numbers. I don't want just numbers by themselves. I want units. I want sig figs. I want appropriate labels so that I know like what your empty container was, what your mass of sample A was, for example. I do not want numbers. I want labeled tables. Okay. And again, this can be straight copied out of your lab notebook if you did a good job setting it up there. Next is where 20 points is the discussion. This is where you talk about your results in regard to your data. Okay, so data in terms of classroom vocab and stuff. And I'm going to talk more about that one in the next video because we're running out of time.